I'm Darby Harper.
Just watch me.
Are you sitting down for this? I see dead people. I help them pass on to the next realm. You'd think that'd be my life's biggest burden, but it is a distant second to where I am forced to spend my days. High school. That's Capri Donahue, head cheerleader.
Isn't cheer just for shallow, hot girls? I'm so glad you asked. And the answer is, that's offensive.
Capri knows I'm the one person she can't get to like her.
Darby, forgot you went here.
Capri, give me my clothes.
Why would I take your clothes? I'm not planning on attending a funeral.
She can be a little extra sometimes.
Extra psychotic.
It's a movie, Darby and the Dead, which is going to be shown in LA in an event called Queer Rhapsody. What's that all about?
Well, I'm really excited. Darby and the Dead was my first studio film, and the project I developed. And the elevator pitch is it's Mean Girls meets Sixth Sense. She helps people, dead people, cross over, make their amends, cross over to the other side, and she gets stuck with her frenemy when she dies in a freak electrocution accident, and they have to navigate this world together. But it was my first studio film, and it was really a nice ride, actually. The executives at Hulu and 20th Century Fox were really passionate about the project, passionate about the story, really gave me a lot of support in terms of the vision for it. And, as a queer trans person, the teen genre is always one you have to impose your own self into, but you don't see yourself reflected. And so it was really fun to play with all the tropes and flip them around. And yeah, it's really about this female friendship, and but there's like one of the mean girl best friends is trans and really hilarious character and is kind of in love with the main character, and it's just nice, like reflecting the world that we see. It feels like an updated version of that teen genre.
So do you have a choice of which movie they show?
So at Queer Rhapsody, so this is it's I think the first time of that it's happening.
Were you involved in the selection of this movie then?
No, not at all. No, it's an honor to be chosen because it's one of 8 projects, and we're very sad to not have OUTFEST happening this year, which has been one of the main festivals I've had my work shown at and been able to share my work with an audience. It really has been vital to my career. So with that, it's trying to at least pick up some of that void, and it's UCLA involved as well, and Vidiot's is a big community venue here on the east side LA. So it feels like a lot of love at the project, and for myself that it's not a specifically queer and trans story, but is very queer and trans lens on a genre that I really appreciate that being recognized in this festival too. It's important to me.
Don't get me wrong, but you're sort of known as the grandfather of trans filmmaking, are you? Because you've been at it for almost 25 years now, right?
Even more. I prefer Godfather, but I'll take
Godfather. Sorry.
No, I'll take it all. It's hey, you know what? Living to a good, healthy age is a privilege. Having grown up in an era where in the queer community, that didn't happen a lot due to AIDS, and just being able to have a career that spans this many years. It's a privilege, one that I'm really grateful for. And yeah, I've been at it for a while. I think even 30 years. My first movie is 22 years old. And it's starting, it's going to be shown this fall or winter, maybe winter at the Motion Picture Academy, Sundance and UCLA, TVR and Film Archives helped us raise the funds to restore it. So it feels really amazing that first film that's that old and this new film are playing. And it feels like a real honor.
It's and I don't mean to get this wrong, but of all you have a large body of work now. But of all the impressive things you've done, like Transparent and Posey, I actually like your 2 first films, By Hook or by Crook and A Kid Like Jake. I adored that.
Thank you.
So, do you have a preference of working in film or in TV these days?
I like both. I think TV is fun because I'm a little more detached. It's a writer's medium, it's a showrunner's medium, and I'm like a very well-paid nanny that takes care of the baby. That's my episode, and I try to bring everything that my lived experience brings to it, but I don't have to die on the hill for every little thing. Movies, I'm very die on the hill for every little thing about.
But in both of them, you're a great advocate of people finding their own true identity, real identity. How important is that to you, Silas?
Yeah, huge. I think probably the main draw to doing film for me is the reflection of ourselves, like being seen as opposed to
Yeah.
being looked at has always been a big theme of mine. And, you know, being looked at is like what it felt like being queer in an era that was homophobic in the early 90s. Unfortunately, is getting that way again. But being seen is like somebody who you connect with, and then it feels like a superpower. You can do so much. And movies give us that potential mirror
Yeah.
themselves.
We're all panicking now about the political climate, which is hitting the trans community worse than most of us. How worried are you about it?
Yeah, it's just such a thing, you know, they're just using it, you know, it's just such a dehumanizing you know, thing to rally, you know, get their base riled up about. And I mean, unfortunately, those are old tropes, like the bathroom, you know, thing is been since civil rights, and, you know, like dehumanizing people based on segregated bathrooms, and then all of the panic around kids, and has always been with queer stuff. You know, it's just all these old tropes that they keep bringing out to lobby against trans people, where it's like more senators have been busted for misconduct in bathrooms than trans people have, you know, so it's not really based in any reality. So it feels like the young generation is not having it, and their time is coming up, and I think they're gonna really be a wave that pushes that further and further off the table.
Talk about young generation and you as a godfather, you just executive produced a movie which we love this year called Mutt. Now,
Yes.
is this a new career for you, helping younger trans filmmakers?
Oh, again, like such a privilege to
Oh.
be part of Vok's film, and just he did such great work. And yeah, the difference when he was at Sundance versus By Hook or by Crook, and it's one that I'm really proud of, is that, you know, he was in competition, that he got this, you know, this award. I think it's really so incredible. Like, we were there and not in competition, and there was a lot of like really, you know, like reductive things around understanding By Hook or by Crook's representation of gender. So in my lifetime, I didn't feel jealous of the change. I felt so proud to see that change and be part of that
Mhm.
change, and you know, be something, you know, a film that the younger generation still references and feels connected to. So yeah, I'm so proud of him and really excited about the authentic lens is the win, you know, that makes it more universal. It's hard to get access to telling our own stories sometimes, unfortunately.
Well, we reviewed Mutt. It's on our site and it's coming out theatrically in August. So look out for it. Now, a
Please do.
little birdie tells me, but I can't talk about this, but I heard you were Netflix just finished filming. Now, I have a very high up contact in Netflix, and once I was told he wouldn't say a word. So are you going to tell me what's going on?
It is controversial, maybe not. I just finished a show that's based on this memoir called Pink
Mm,
Marine. That is a beautiful memoir. And the author Greg is also a writer on the show, about a young man going into the Marines in the early 90s, who's gay and under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which is an era I remember well. And that policy, and how crazy that, just the name of the policy, Don't Ask, Don't Tell, says it all.
mm.
So it's a really beautiful, complex story, and I just directed two of the episodes. They're 1 hour each, and I'm in the middle of editing it now. Yeah, but
That's good. I want to see that, even though he wouldn't say a word to me, I want to say a good, well done to Netflix, because their programming is getting so much better for our community and is really fascinating.
it is
Um,
worth saying. I mean, and I guess, you know, hopefully I'm not in trouble for mentioning it, but I do think it's public that the show has been announced in the trade. So, you know, and I am proud of them. They've invested a lot in the show, and, you know, in this era, having stories that are centered on queerness, helmed by queer people, is a really valuable thing. Yeah.
no, it's really good because they went out of their way for me to support them in Outlandish for new comedy, and I'm not only pleased they're making queer stuff, but involving the queer community in too. So that's your next thing we see, unless there's something else you want to tell me about now. You must be always working on something else.
Yes, yeah, I am working on another feature that's loosely based on my dad, his sort of last 6 months of his life, and taking care of him. And I was early in my transition, and
Mhm.
it's not as sad as it might sound. There's a lot of humor in there, but I'm excited about that next passion project. Um, Yeah, and then some shows that I'm ready to take out, but right now it's just a little, not the best time to take out.
You're one busy man. You're very busy all the time. But thanks for the quality and the quantity of your work. It's really great. And it's great to talk to you after all these years. And I wish you well. And I hope Netflix have a go at me and not at you for spreading the news.
Okay, good. We'll find out.
Yeah, take care now.
So much. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
I think he wants you.
Jake's very special. He's always liked doing things his own way.
Where are you guys applying?
Oh, boy.
Even if we could afford it, is a private school even what I want for Jake? I know we've always said we're not those parents, but
Can't
I don't
afford to
know,
be.
Maybe.
The numbers are ridiculous. But you have to remember, everybody wants diversity. Why not talk a little about his gender expansive play? You want him to be somewhere he can thrive, right?
You really don't think it's weird?
I mean, he does like to play dress up. That's not news.
Yeah, he likes fairy tales, but maybe that's not the most critical thing worth mentioning.
He asked why boys can't wear skirts.
I don't want to send him off to kindergarten labeled. He's only 4. What if he starts thinking there's something wrong with him?
Where is my favorite grandson? I haven't heard from you in over a week. Can't push. Gotta let go, right?
In a few weeks, we'll visit some new schools, and you should just be yourself. And that's all that matters, okay? So it's no big deal at all.
Love is a constant friend.
I'd like to show you something. There were 1 or 2 incidents in class.
And love is a hand to